Most of us are living inside a financial script written 40 years ago by people who aren't around to see the consequences. We were told that if we followed the steps, degree, career, 401k, retirement, we'd win. But as we sit here in 2026, the math has stopped mathing. You feel it every time you go to the grocery store or look at housing prices. There's a reason for that. Money isn't just a medium of exchange anymore. It's a tool of control. If you don't understand the shadow rules of the game, you aren't a player. You're the prize. Stay tuned. In this video, we're going to dismantle the 5 biggest lies about money that most people don't figure out until their time has run out. Number 5 will open your eyes. Truth number 1, the one customer trap. Let's start with the biggest lie of all, the safety of a salary. Society treats a job like the ultimate fortress, but from an investigative standpoint, a job is actually the most fragile financial structure in existence. Think about a small business owner. If they have 100 customers and 5 of them leave, it's a bad month. But the business survives. Now look at an employee. You have one customer, your employer. They provide 100% of your revenue. If that one customer decides to pivot, downsize, or replace your department with a more capable hand, your revenue drops to 0 overnight. We call this a career, but in the world of risk management, it's a single point of failure. That's why these wealthy people like Elon Musk and other billionaires don't have jobs. They have income streams. They might have a business, a rental property, and a dividend portfolio. If one fails, the others hold the line. Most people learn this truth at 52, when they realize they've spent 30 years building someone else's fortress while leaving their own gates wide open. However, I'm not saying you have to quit your job. After all, many people are with no means of survival, but you have to stop viewing it as your safety. Your safety is your ability to generate value outside of a corporate permission slip. Golden cages or multiple income streams. One keeps you, one frees you. This is where the blueprint starts to change. And the best time to start is before your one customer decides for you. Truth number 2, the stealth theft. Why your savings are melting. We've been taught that saving is a virtue. A penny saved is a penny earned, right? In 2026, that's a dangerous delusion. Because of the way the global monetary system is structured, saving in a traditional bank account is essentially a slow-motion form of bankruptcy. Inflation isn't just an economic trend, it's a stealth tax on your time. When the government prints more money, the value of the amount in your pocket goes down. Let's take, for instance, if you worked 40 hours to earn $2,000 this week, and inflation is running at 7%, then by next year, those same 40 hours of your life are only worth $1,160. The system essentially stole 3 hours of your life while you were sleeping. The wealthy understand that cash is a melting ice cube. They don't hoard cash, they use cash to buy hard assets, things that can't be printed into oblivion. Real estate, gold, Bitcoin, or equity in a profitable company. If you're waiting for your savings to make you wealthy, you're waiting for a ship that's already been scuttled. Truth number 3. Do you know that your debt is the bank's best asset? This is the part that usually makes people's stomachs churn. When you take out a 30-year mortgage or a 7-year car loan, you aren't just borrowing money. You are selling your future labor at a discount. Let's look at a $500,000 mortgage at 6% interest. Over 30 years, you'll end up paying back roughly $1,079,000. That extra $579,000 is interest, pure profit for the bank. If you earn $50 an hour, you just signed a contract to work 11,580 hours, about 6 years of your life, purely for the bank's benefit. The investigative truth here is that the modern economy is fueled by debts. People who are so burdened by monthly payments that they can't afford to say no to a job they hate. They are trapped in a cycle of earning to pay for things they already used. Wealthy people use debt as a lever to buy things that make money. Poor people use debt as a shovel to dig a hole they can't climb out of. If your debt doesn't pay you, then it's just doing the opposite. Always know that when a bank gives you a loan, it's basically for their profit. The question becomes, which side of the ledger are you on? Redesign the terms. Start with purpose. step by step, out of the hole and into ownership. Truth number 4. The retirement mirage. The concept of retirement was invented by the German government in the late 1880s. At the time, the retirement age was 70, and the average life expectancy was 70. It was a mathematical trick to keep people working until they were no longer useful to the state. Today, we've bought into the golden years myth. We trade the years when we have health, energy, and mobility, our 20s to 50s, for the hope that we'll have enough money to travel when we're 70. But here's the problem. You can't buy back your 30s with a 401k. The real winners aren't the ones who retire at 65, they're the ones who reach financial independence early by decoupling their time from their income. They realize that time is the only asset that doesn't renew. You can always find a way to make another $1 million, but you cannot find a way to get back a Tuesday afternoon with your kids. If your plan is to wait until you're old to live, you've been scammed by the industrial era playbook. This doesn't mean you should not work. Being strategic can help build your financial independence. Choose time-rich paths, even as you build, because time, once spent, never returns. Truth number 5. The education gap. The real mastery. Why didn't we learn how to do taxes in school? Why didn't they teach us how to read a balance sheet or how a trust works? Because the school system was designed to produce employees, not owners. An employee needs to know how to follow instructions and solve specific problems within a department. An owner needs to know how to navigate the tax code, manage risk, and allocate capital. The single most expensive thing you will ever pay for isn't a house or a car. It's taxes. Over a lifetime, the average high earner will give 30% to 50% of their total wealth to the government. However, the tax code is actually a choose-your-own-adventure book. There are massive incentives for people who provide housing, people who provide jobs, and people who provide capital. Most people learn this in their 60s when they realize they've been playing the employee version of the game, where the taxes are highest and the loopholes are non-existent. Close the gap. Study the code, the balance sheet, and the structures that protect time. Because ownership is learned, then earned, and the learning never stops. So, what's the move? If the system is rigged, do we just give up? Absolutely not. You win by changing the game you're playing. You stop being a consumer who buys liabilities to look rich and start being a producer who buys assets to be rich. You stop diversifying your investments and start diversifying your income. The next 10 years are going to happen regardless of what you do. You can spend them paying off the bank's yacht, or you can spend them building your own fleet. The first step isn't a better budget. It's a better perspective. I'm making this video not to criticize one's choice of earning a living, but to enlighten you, because knowledge, they say, is power. If you like this kind of investigative content, please subscribe to AfriBrief News channel for more updates.